this is probably going to be my most contentious video yet. You see, I'm probably going to be splitting my audience right down the middle. That's what she said. And the reason for that is because today we're going to be talking about Halo and the new Halo game that is being released by Halo Studios, formerly 343, which was announced yesterday. The thing is though, Halo for me is a massively pivotal thing in my life. I used to hang out at my friend's house every Friday and Saturday night, playing Halo until the sun came up sometimes, doing couch co-op, doing multiplayer, setting up LAN parties, eating tons of junk food, and drinking beers. If you don't know about Clerks, you should definitely check it out, trust me. And those were honestly some of the best times ever, playing one of the best FPS games practically ever made, and then getting to enjoy that consistently. But now we are in an era of remakes and remasters, mostly because the gaming industry has no idea what the they're doing anymore. And here we go with Halo Campaign Evolved. Campaign Evolved! Remember how the other day I talked about the monkey's paw curling when you wish for something in the worst possible way? Well, that wish has in fact come true. You're not getting Halo Combat Evolved, you're getting just the campaign. No actual PvP multiplayer. Although they are adding online multiplayer for the campaign co-op. Who knows about couch co-op because that's been gone for the longest time. But the thing is, you're not even getting the entire full complete package. And you can bet your sweet bippy that they're going to go ahead and charge probably $70 for this game as well. And that's really what concerns me about all of this. You're going to be seeing a lot of the older games coming back and being remade or remastered to go through and charge you a full complete price without even being the full complete package. And there are other major factors as well being in this Halo Campaign Evolved version that are going to be really concerning for me. Number one, it's the use of Unreal Engine 5. Yeah. Okay, look, listen, if you're even a viewer of this channel, you know exactly how I feel about UE5 in the first place. Completely overbloated with everything else required, having really wild PC requirements, having to use a lot of upscaling like FSR and DLSS to get a stable frame rate, tons of shimmering, tons of issues, and massive amounts of stuttering. Hell, even in the footage they showed for Halo Campaign Evolved, which I'm going to keep calling it that because that's what they're calling it, which really shouldn't be called that in the first place, you could clearly see the stutters while they were playing the game. And no, I don't want to hear things like, oh, Alex, that's just alpha footage. They're going to fix it when the game comes out. Go right now and look at any other Unreal Engine 5 game that you have right now as its full release, and you tell me if that thing doesn't stutter or have massive issues. Go on. No, go ahead. Which game? Which UE5 game actually came out that ran well? None of them run well. They all have stutters. They all have issues. And for a game like Halo, you can't have that. That's going to ruin the experience overall. It doesn't matter how many reflections you add or how shiny you make things. The experience overall while playing it is going to be diminished because of this.
Unfortunately, the small slice I played of Halo Campaign Evolved didn't really impress me all that much. It was buggy visually as well as had very poor frame rate. Something that I expect to be cleaned up in a full version, but as a first-time impression, it wasn't very good.
So not only are you getting one of the best games ever made being remade with one of the worst possible engines for video games right now, you're also getting the fact that it is a incomplete package without any multiplayer whatsoever. But besides all of those things, the bigger problems themselves are the gameplay changes with this. Yeah, this is where things are going to get spicy because we're going to talk about Sprint. You see, they went ahead and added Sprint into the new Halo game. And honestly, in my opinion, it shouldn't be there. No, I don't care that I can turn it off. No, I don't care about, oh, you gotta modernize it. That's, in fact, wrong. You don't have to modernize Halo. Halo was already modern in the first place. The thing is, you are a super soldier who should already be running at 200 miles an hour as quick as possible down the entire scape. And the problem is, for a gameplay perspective, adding Sprint completely breaks a lot of the engagements inside of Halo themselves. Yeah, everybody wants to go faster. Sure, I get it. But a good example is you didn't need things like Sprint in Doom 2016 or even Doom Eternal Eternal, especially Doom Eternal, because you were already going 1,000 miles an hour anyways, and that's what makes the game fun. I shouldn't have to sprint to get to another section much quicker to get to another engagement. Adding sprint into a game like Halo Combat Evolved completely changes the entire landscape and even all the enemy layouts and placements and engagements inside of that Halo game. Master Chief himself was already a quick-moving character, and the problem is with sprint is that you are completely negating every single engagement and encounter that you have with enemies inside of when you are in fact the Halo ring. Here's what I mean. When you are sprinting past enemies, you trivialize them. When you have sprint, you can escape other encounters and you trivialize them. You're not thinking tactically or putting yourself in proper situations of having a better experience overall and having that encounter with the AI in the first place and going through and having those great engagements. You are removing that engagement from the actual idea by having sprint there in the first place. Also, that completely negates the entire size and scope of the Halo ring in the first place, having it be this massive structure that you're stranded on, an alien device. Having sprint there completely just ruins so much of what made Halo great in the first place. And to add insult to injury, they've also removed health packs too. Here we go. We're going to do the Call of Duty thing now again. Look, I can understand if there weren't any health packs in the remake of Halo 2 or Halo 3 because the originals didn't have them and the game was designed around not having them. But the problem is these changes are far too great and far too drastic. In fact, not only are we talking about sprint being included and on top of that no health packs, but there's even bigger changes that we've actually thought before. In fact, Gene Park said this. A pre-release build played by the Washington Post showcases the Silent Cartographer, a level featuring the wide-open battlefields and indoor-outdoor environments that made the game a classic. The game will change the nature of battles by introducing sprinting and pulling the L trigger to aim every gun down its sights. Weapons from other games in the series, like the battle rifle and the needle rifle, are now included, adding some continuity in the technology used across the United Nations Space Command forces. Master Chief, the iconic protagonist of the series, also gets a makeover with redone cinematic scenes. Now I know what you're thinking, Alex, why would you even be mad at ADS? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the problem is going to be this. If you're having a lot of weapons that hip fire well or have high accuracy during hip fire, then you're going to have to reduce that accuracy overall to implement better ADS accuracy in the first place, meaning that most weapons that you use will significantly perform better when they're used aimed down sights. This means things like the shotgun when you're encountering the Flood for the first time. That's going to be either a more difficult scenario or even trivialized overall because of ADS. And on top of that, the addition of sprint makes you run away faster from the Flood as well, basically trivializing the entire thing overall. This isn't about old man yells at cloud. This is about the fact that so many things from the classic Halo are being removed or, in fact, in my opinion, bastardized because they want to make it for a modern audience. And really, all it does is make Halo less of what it actually is. This sort of like space opera, sci-fi horror kind of game with a lot of eldritch horror fantasy included into it. That's really what's great about it. But having these implementations in the gameplay don't do well and don't make good signs of what this could in fact be for the game and what it should be. And you know what? Don't even get me started on the whole Needler battle rifle thing being added into the game. Honestly, they shouldn't be there. That's just my flat out opinion on the entire thing. They completely ruined all the weapon balance inside of Halo Combat Evolved. The thing is, when you had a grunt pistol and you had the regular human pistol, you knew you had some kind of combo with you. You could take down elites as well. Why would you use any other weapon in the entire game if you had the BR with you? That was the same problem that Halo 2 had, but at least with Halo 2, you had some variances with actual dual-wielding SMGs or something like that, or dual-wielding Needlers. Having these two weapons inside of Halo CE brings no real balance and tips the scale in the favors of just trying to make it modern for modern's sake. And that's going to be the issue that I have with all of this. And let's talk about the elephant in the room that I'm sure people are going to try and bring up as well. Yes, this game is going to be on PlayStation 5, and honestly, good. Every game should be, in fact, on every platform. We even talked about this yesterday, how exclusivity is, in fact, an archaic thing, and I truly believe that to be the case. The thing is, though, I feel like this game shouldn't have been made at all. Now, look, hear me out. Hold on. Take a sec. Think about this real quick. If we're going to put Master Chief and others on different platforms, then why not give the real experience from the first place? Why not go through and provide the entire Master Chief collection to every single player available? Look at how great MCC is now today compared to when it launched in the beginning. And if Halo Studios would have gone through and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and do Halo 3 Anniversary, add that into MCC, put Halo 5 into MCC as well, and provide you guys a complete package with every single Halo game and every single multiplayer all attached online and ready to go day one, to me, that would be a much better product being overall and put onto multiple platforms for people that had never played Halo in the first place to enjoy something for the very first time. I feel like if they would have done that and then also brought out the actual Halo Campaign Evolved, which is a horrible name, by the way, then it would have been a much better thing as well, because you would have had people that said, oh, cool, I get to have every single Halo game, get an MCC resurgence of players, have multiplayer online as well, and every single Halo 1 through 5 ready to go in one complete box and package with an anniversary edition of Halo 3 would have been the perfect thing to see overall and just experience as well. That, I feel, would have been a much better package and a much better way of bringing over Master Chief to other platforms too. And I would have been way happier with that kind of decision, because then it would have been like, oh, we're not going to pull a Blizzard and try to just skate away and just ignore all the past that we used to do with this kind of game and then only want to do our version of it. I really feel like this entire thing is almost as if the people that are making the new Halo don't like Halo, and it's almost going to go into the whole like Halo 4, Halo 5 thing where they tried to be more Call of Duty and things basically just fell off because of it. And the thing is, though, this isn't the first time these kind of changes have been implemented. Halo 5 had ADS as well, and so many other things to try and make it more modern, and honestly, that fell pretty much flat on its face. I am incredibly worried about this remake coming out and even the sequels after it, mostly because it does feel like they're going to be charging an exorbitant amount of money and not giving you a complete product, and also, in my opinion, giving you a worse experience because, clearly, the classics are better. That's my hipster talking. I'm just kind of old on that. And even though this entire video has been full of my hot takes about Halo and the new Halo Campaign Evolved, I want to give it even more scorching hot take about the entire thing. Seeing as how there is no actual PvP multiplayer for Halo Campaign Evolved, my opinion should have been that this game should not have been gone to Halo Studios, but it should have gone to id instead. That's right, yeah. That's my hot take about the entire thing. We were not getting actual PvP multiplayer with this, so there's no reason to have to worry about Halo Studios working on that. And the actual campaign, in my opinion, would have been in far better hands if it would have had it in the first place. We saw what they did with Doom 2016. We definitely saw what they did with Doom Eternal, because I absolutely loved Eternal in every sense of the word. And they know more about combat. They didn't have to rely on ADS. They didn't have to rely on everything else that people were trying to have tropes for the modern age, and they brought an old game like Doom into the modern era without having to fall into those same trappings that everybody is also certainly accustomed to, but giving you something fresh and new. That is my biggest hot take of all, because especially now, since we're not getting actual PvP multiplayer, there's no reason why Halo Studios should have had that, in my opinion, in the first place. Oh, that is a scorcher of a hot take. I know I'm going to get some comments about that one in the actual section down below. Oof. And honestly, with everything that I've said, I would in fact love to be wrong. I hope it's a good game. I hope I'm wrong about ADS and the battle rifle and sprinting and all those things. And hopefully that could provide a new experience for Halo players to get into a franchise of games that honestly was always amazing to play. But I really have my concerns and my doubts, especially it being an incomplete package, not having multiplayer for PvP, not having everything that's required, or even then, not giving PlayStation players the ability to play the classics from the very beginning like MCC. And I feel like that is going to be a bigger issue more than anything. I really feel like the guys on the Nintendo Switches and actual PlayStation owners who never played Halo should get to experience the actual greatness that is the entire Master Chief collection from the very beginning in its original state. And that's where I think all of this should have in fact started before making the remake on multiple platforms. But you know what? That's just what I have to say about things. And I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. Please don't be too mad. Please. Please. I'm a very old man, a weak and brittle bones. I can't take much more of it, I promise, okay? But if you definitely want to see more of this kind of content, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and my hot takes in the gaming industry, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 96,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or most during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Just come on down Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live while I wear a banana suit and get insulted by 800 people with AITTS. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!